Good morning, everybody. I had a cool opportunity to get early access to test out this powered cooler from BougeRV. Technically, this video is not sponsored, but I did receive the cooler in exchange for providing them some feedback and for making this video. My goal of this video is to give you the best possible idea of what you're getting if you choose to buy this cooler. We're going to start with a detailed overview and then go over some of the specs of the cooler, and then I'm going to give you some of the findings that I had in my experience of using it over the past few months. And hopefully that will help you make the decision to decide if this is the cooler for you. All right, let's start with the overview. First, here's what comes in the box. We've got the cooler, of course, the AC cord, a DC cord, and a user manual. And then taking a look at the exterior, here are the dimensions. It's 26.28 inches long, 15.35 inches deep, 16.14 inches tall. Without any batteries, it weighs 39.5 pounds. Each battery weighs 3.3 pounds. Taking a look at the top view, it's got a pretty cool design. I like the hexagonal pattern, and of course, this is the door for the cooler. Over here is the battery compartment with space for up to 2 batteries. You can use 2 batteries, 1 battery, or you don't even need a battery if you have it plugged into an external power source. The batteries go in vertically, and then you can secure them in place. Even with 2 batteries in here, there's still a little extra room to keep some cords. Also on the top is the screen and controls where we can change the temperature, settings, and check battery status, etc. The temperature can be set from a range of -4 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Per the brand, it runs at about 45 decibels, but I do not have a decibel tester to confirm this. On the front, this is for ventilation, and from this angle we can see that the cooler has 2 wheels, making it easier to transport. Nothing different on the back, just more ventilation. On the wheel side is more ventilation, a handle, as well as the power inlet. And on the other side is the handle. Inside the cooler is where I found the accessories when I first unboxed it, as well as this removable divider. The total interior dimensions are 13.46 inches long, 11.1 inches deep, and 12 inches tall. And I think this is actually pretty cool. When the divider is in, the fridge will automatically detect dual zones, and then you can set the temperature individually for each side. When the divider is removed, it automatically detects one single drawer. So even though this is a fairly small cooler, this is fantastic because now you can have one side be a fridge and the other be a freezer if you'd like. Or what I did a couple times was put the divider in and then have stuff for lunch on one side and then stuff for dinner on the other side, just for easier organization. There is a drainage hole in the bottom, although you shouldn't need that for melted ice. And then lastly, on the inside is a light. As long as there's power to the cooler, this light will turn on automatically when the door is open. Back when I unboxed it a few months ago, I wrote down some of my first impressions, so here's what we've got. Number 1, I love the design, especially compared to this other BougeRV cooler I have. It's a lot more sleek. Number 2, I love that it can take 2 batteries. The longer the cooler can last without needing an external power source, the better. Number 3, I love how the batteries just click right in and connect to the cooler. On the older BougeRV cooler I have that uses the same battery, it has to be physically plugged in. So this one is a lot easier to get the batteries in and just have them connect right away to the cooler. And then I also like that there's a little bit of extra space in the battery compartment to keep some USB cords. Number 4, I love the option to have it either be a dual zone fridge or to be able to remove the divider and then have it be just one big space. On other powered coolers that I've used before that are dual zone, they're separate compartments, so there's never the option to have just one bigger space. Number 5, compared to the older BougeRV powered cooler that I have, this one was definitely bigger and heavier, even though they are of the same capacity. I'm assuming that that is related to hopefully better insulation, the fact that there is the second battery slot, and then also this one has wheels and the other one I have does not. And then number 6, since it is heavier, I do like that it has the handles and the wheels. At the time of this recording, the price for the cooler alone without any batteries is $425. If you want to add 1 battery, it's $525. And then if you add 2 batteries, it's $650. So I was a little confused about that. If you add 1 battery, it's $100 extra for the extra battery. But if you add 2 extra batteries, it's $112.50 per battery. But it's still a good deal compared to buying the batteries separate, as they are $170 each if you buy the battery alone. Before we get into the app, I just wanted to talk quickly about some of the things that they advertise. Number one, they advertise that it cools in 10 minutes. And yes, it does cool very quickly. I never did any timed testing, but it cools quickly enough that if we're heading out, taking the cooler with us, we can just turn it on right as we're packing it. I don't feel the need to pre-chill the cooler. Number two, the website says that it will stay cool for 10 hours without power. So what this means is if you're using the cooler and then your batteries die and you don't have any power, it will stay cool enough to keep your food cold for 10 hours. Fortunately for me, and unfortunately for you, my batteries never died, so I did not get to test this out. Number three, they say that the battery will last up to 28 hours. The small print does say that this is with 2 batteries, with the cooler pre-cooled to 41 degrees and with it being about half full. The closest that I got to testing this out, the most recent trip we had, we left at 7 a.m., did not pre-chill the cooler, and it was about half full. Both batteries were full, and we got home at 6 p.m. And when we got home, battery 1 was dead, and battery 2 was at about 75%. So that means we made it at an 11-hour day, and we got to where there was still 75% left in one of the batteries. The temperature during the day was probably in the low 60s pretty much all day. Before we get to the conclusion, I just want to show you the app. Typically, I have not found apps for portable power stations or powered coolers to be helpful, and that was no different here. But to set it up, first you need to make an account, and then it was very simple to pair from there. My phone found the cooler quickly, and I was able to view the display. Within the app, you can turn the cooler on and off, and you can change the temperature. Just for me, I don't really find it necessary to have an app to do those things. The only thing I can think of that would have been really useful that I don't think was available in the app was to be able to see the battery percentage remaining. I would like to be able to just open up the app and be able to see how much battery I have left, but I tried and I either couldn't figure it out or that's not something that can be done at least yet. In conclusion, from my 3 months of testing, the cooler's performance has been excellent, so I have no complaints about that. It's perfect for day trips especially, and I feel confident that I could go out for a full day without needing an external power source as long as I have both batteries, especially since they say it will stay cold for an extra 10 hours if you do lose battery power. If I was going on a multi-day trip or longer, I would want to have some sort of external power source, such as a portable power station, just to make sure I keep the batteries charged. But I would feel confident at least that I could have it running throughout the night without having to have it plugged in. One other thing I want to mention is that the batteries do not charge if you have the cooler plugged into AC or DC power. So if you want to charge the batteries, you have to physically plug them in to their own power source. Otherwise, that's about it. That's all I can think of. If there's anything I missed or you have questions about, please leave a comment below and I will do my best to answer it. I was given a discount code and an affiliate link, so if this video did help you decide if you want to purchase this cooler, please consider using my link and I will earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. Lastly, if you did find this video helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.